And welcome back to our final segment of the Great Green Home
Merry
Show,
Christmas.
the holiday edition, as it were. We do have some items of interest here this afternoon, this morning, whatever time it is, sponsored by MyEcoAgent.com.
Happy holidays.
Bulletin, Washington,
Bing,
D.C.
bing, 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 bing.
One landmark development in an otherwise disappointing energy bill are the provisions for the phase-out of the 125-year-old Thomas Edison incandescent bulb.
They're getting on board, are they?
The energy bill contains light bulb efficiency performance standards that will phase out the traditional incandescent bulb, saving consumers more than $40 billion in energy costs.
Oh, good. I could use some.
Phase-out will eliminate the need for at least 12 to 15 new coal-fired power plants, a top priority for the Earth Day Network and much of the environmental community.
That's great.
So, yeah, this is really good. And
that's that's like the one tooth.
Yeah.
In that bill.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been toothless.
You got to look. Yeah, you got to look for the silver lining. And
Yeah,
the bill,
great.
which was signed by President Bush, requires that by 2012 to 2014, all light bulbs will use 25 to 30% energy less energy than today, and traditional incandescent bulbs use almost 90% of the energy they use to produce heat, not light.
That's right.
Which just seems really silly to me. So the phase-in will start with 100 watt bulbs in 2012, and then end with 40 watt bulbs by 2014. By 2020, the bulbs must be 70% more efficient. So basically, what they're saying is we're going to switch over to all LEDs or compact fluorescents or other new technology that may rear its head between now and then.
Well, yeah, but the LEDs are going to be huge what they're predicting in 2 or 3 years is it's going to take so little energy to light up most areas. It's going to be great.
Yeah, the LEDs are amazing.
Save us even more.
So, and again, a lot of this technology we talk about is really a bridge to get from point A to point B. And compact fluorescents, in my opinion, are a bridge between incandescent and LEDs. Really.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
And we need it. We need it.
We do. So
spend wisely.
And an American public can choose to push industry to act even faster. And we talk about this all the time.
We are the power.
We have the power. Too often we make believe or we actually feel powerless when in fact we're not. You make the rules based on what you buy.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
So if you only buy the stuff that's good for us and the planet, then that's all they're going to sell.
And conversely, it's what you don't buy. If it sits on their shelves for a year and a half, it ain't going to be on that shelf in the next year. What you don't buy is also a huge statement. So it's a wonderful thing to know that's the power of the pocketbook.
Yep.
And in March 2007, Earth Day Network joined with the industry and a handful of environmental organizations to craft a legislative effort to phase out the bulb. EDN. What's EDN?
Earth Day Network.
Also launched Project Switch to harness the buying power and political determination of thousands of grassroots partners around the world. Through this initiative, thousands of individuals and households from around the world have replaced their inefficient incandescent light bulbs with energy-saving ones.
And let's not lose sight of the fact that we love Thomas Edison here, and it was wonderful that he gave us the light bulb. But its day is over. Its day should have been over 30 years ago.
What about Christmas lights? Are they big
Christmas
power?
lights it depends. They're almost all incandescent at this point. But again, that will start to change over the next.
Are they going to have little teeny weeny CFL colored Christmas lights?
I don't know.
White lights?
I have not yet researched that. I probably should have for the holiday show. Huh?
Okay, I'm sorry to ask you these questions before you researched them.
That's all right.
All right, we're going to talk about the March 29th show and where the money is going. Okay, so that people know that money donated at the door, a good portion, I think $2 out of the $7, that's the way it is now. That may change. But
money's not being donated at the door. The money's being paid to the door, but a portion of that's being donated. I don't want
anybody
to misconstrue that.
No, that's right. Don't donate at the door. Pay at the door. But $2 out of every 7 are going to benefit two very worthy causes. One of them, of course, is the USO, and we want to urge people to write those soldiers and recovering soldiers again and go on to the podcast and get that address if you didn't write it down the first time. But the other beneficiary now is a new program in D.C. that we're really excited about, and this would be a great Christmas present to everybody. It's called No Child Left Inside.
Right.
And finally, a campaign on Capitol Hill, one that has far-ranging implications for future environmental stewardship in this country, underscored by CBF's ability to rally a national constituency. All right, so basically the Chesapeake Bay Foundation is rallying this national constituency. They have like 34 congressmen already, and a bunch of large corporations.
Just
that,
sort of strange bedfellows. That, I mean,
right.
But
Right.
that's okay. We'll take it where we can get it.
They're rallying to get this bill passed for No Child Left Inside, which means that every child in public school would benefit by programs in environmental education, and they wouldn't be inside. And so they're taking them outside, away from the games, away from the classroom, and doing environmental education to raise that awareness, because they're the generations that's going to inherit a very toasty planet, no matter what we do right now.
And there's the connect.
Right. CBF's education staff led a coalition of more than 125 organizations to lobby for reform of the No Child Left Behind Act, and they're lobbying that, which has sort of languished a little bit, to a No Child Left Inside. So we want everybody to go onto their computer, and if you don't have one, go to the library and get one and look at No Child Left Inside, because the March 29th Great Green Expo will be sending a bunch of money to help this law get passed. Help this bill get actually turned into law.
Now, explain to me what the purpose of having No Child Left Inside is.
Well, there's not a lot of environmental education in our public schools right now, and they don't have a lot of money to take them out on field trips. And we have all these great advocacy groups, Estuary, Asheville Nature Center locally, Chesapeake Bay Foundation, that have all these great University of Delaware Marine Center. I can go on and on. Conservation Fund, Conservancy, Eastern Shore Conservancy. Did I go too far?
Well, no, but I mean, isn't part of the focus of this to get the kids off their butts and get them actually doing something, so they're not sitting in front of a video game and drinking Coke?
Right, and so all of these, to get them out of the classroom, but all of these groups that have all these educational programs, basically what that comes down to is the federal government's going to fund environmental education, where you go out to Asheville Nature Center for their education programs. They haven't funded that yet.
Right.
And so or you go to the estuary, or you put those people come to the school, or you have teachers who then make this a part of your curriculum.
Well, this sounds like a win-win, because you're not only getting them up off their butts, but you're also mandating that they learn about our environment, so they're better stewards of our environment. Which makes
and you make
sense.
it enjoyable. The other thing is, we're putting a little bit of money behind advocacy for this, but the benefits of having a federally funded program are enormous for all of our different groups that I just mentioned, as well as the schools, as well as teachers, and of course ultimately the students.
And how are we going to pay for this?
It's a federally funded project. We have some money in the No Child Left Behind.
They're actually going to try to shift some of that.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's what I'm saying. We're going to raise a bit of money, do advocacy, but the benefit is, if it becomes a law and goes into the school system, it's huge. It's a federally funded project.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How we doing?
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to other things that really look good. All right, real quickly, here's a gift: the U.S. greenhouse gas abatement potentials. The U.S. could reduce projected 2030 emissions of greenhouse gases by between 1/3 to 1/2 at manageable cost to the economy. That's all I'm going to say. This is a new study that's just come out from the Environmental Leader. You can catch it online, the Executives Daily. This is a business brief. They are now predicting, and these are business people, no more political discussion, that we're able to do this without doing it manageably, without requiring big changes in consumer lifestyles.
And that's the huge thing here, because most people want to hear that we can do this without completely destroying their lifestyle.
So now the government's even getting in on this, along with other people that are in the finances.
Well, we need to sign off. It is time to thank our sponsors.
Happy holidays.
SunTrust Mortgage, CMI Electric, Energy Services Group, MyEcoAgent.com, and Option Insurance Group. We will be off next week for the holiday, but we're going to rerun our very first show. So you need to make sure that you tune in, or you go online at WILM.com. Keyword green. Have a nice holiday.
Happy holidays.